This morning, before the world demands anything from you, before messages arrive and expectations press against your chest, pause and remember this simple Stoic truth. Your mind is the first relationship you must master, because everything else flows from it. And it took me 10 long years of broken expectations, silent disappointments, and misunderstood love to learn what I am about to tell you now, that you cannot control people, only your judgments about them. And the moment you stop trying to manage how others feel, act, or love, you reclaim a quiet power that no one can take from you. Because people will always act according to their nature, their wounds, their fears, and their level of awareness, not according to your hopes. And when you accept this early in the morning, you stop waking up angry, you stop negotiating with reality, and you begin the day grounded, understanding that expectations are the root of most emotional suffering, not because hope is wrong, but because unrealistic hope turns into resentment, and resentment poisons relationships slowly, silently, until even love feels heavy. So the Stoic way is not to expect less from life, but to expect realistically from humans. To remember, as Marcus Aurelius warned, that people are not born to meet your standards. And when you release them from that burden, you also free yourself. And in that freedom, you learn the strength of silence, the kind of silence that does not beg, explain, or defend, because not every accusation deserves a response, not every misunderstanding needs correction, and sometimes the most dignified answer is restraint, since words spoken in emotion often create wounds that time cannot easily heal. And when you stop reacting, you start observing, and observation gives clarity. Clarity gives peace, and peace gives you the ability to love without possession. Because Stoicism teaches that love is not ownership, it is appreciation without chains, presence without fear, knowing that everything you love is on loan from life, and when you cling, you suffer, but when you hold gently, you grow. And this is where most people lose themselves, measuring their worth by attention, replies, affection, or validation, forgetting that your value is rooted in character, not in how someone treats you on their worst day. And once you understand this, rejection stops feeling like a verdict and starts feeling like information that redirects you instead of destroying you. And halfway through this understanding, you realize emotions are not enemies to be crushed, but signals to be governed. Because Stoicism never asks you to be cold, it asks you to be disciplined, to feel deeply without becoming a prisoner of feeling, to allow sadness without drowning in it, to experience anger without letting it speak for you. And this discipline grows with time, because time reveals truth without argument, showing you who is consistent, who is confused, and who is simply passing through your life as a lesson rather than a destination. And accepting that not every relationship is meant to last is painful, but it is also liberating, because when you understand impermanence, you stop forcing permanence, and gratitude replaces anxiety, presence replaces fear. And then comes the hardest lesson of all, that betraying yourself to keep someone is a loss no relationship can justify, because once you abandon your boundaries, your values, and your self-respect, even love becomes empty. And this is why solitude is not a punishment, but a teacher, because only in silence do you hear your true voice again. Only alone do you rebuild the parts of yourself you gave away trying to be enough for someone else. And from that place of inner stability, forgiveness becomes possible, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Because holding anger is like gripping a blade and wondering why your hand bleeds. And when you release it, you feel lighter, clearer, stronger, and you learn that balance is the highest form of love, neither self-erasure nor emotional walls, but a steady center where you give without losing yourself. And when people leave, as some inevitably will, you learn the Stoic art of letting go without bitterness, understanding that nature takes back what it lends, and fighting that truth only multiplies suffering. So you walk forward with dignity, knowing that real peace is not found in people changing, but in your response remaining calm, ordered, and intentional, and that revenge is never power, growth is, because the most powerful response to pain is becoming wiser, kinder, and more grounded than you were before. And as this morning unfolds, let this be the quiet secret that rewires your mind, that you do not need to prove, chase, or force anything. You only need to govern your thoughts, choose virtue over impulse, clarity over chaos, and presence over fear. Because when you do, relationships stop controlling you, mornings stop feeling heavy, and life begins to move with you instead of against you. And this, above all else, is the Stoic path to a strong mind and a peaceful heart.